Hi guys, welcome back to the Rebel News channel, the channel for lightsaber reviews. Today we're gonna take a close-up look on the Vader's Vault Havoc. So let's delve right into it, shall we? And welcome back. So let's start taking a closer look on the Vader's Vault Battle Wrapped Havoc. Now, as you can see, my Havoc is in the light weathering configuration. So it has minor weathering details. It has a black non-lit AV switch, and it has a nice lambskin leather wrap. And then in the bottom we have a vented pommel, and we have a black cover tag wheel. So let's take a closer look, and starting with the emitter section. So let's first show the inside of the emitter. So you see the Tri-Cree LED. In this case it's a Sun Crusher lime green. Now lime green or Sun Crusher in this means just a regular Tri-Cree with a green, amber and white for flash on glass LED. So you see all three of them. Here we go. In a heatsink that's around the LED, and then the lens that you see here, that reflective piece. I'm not entirely sure what is the angle of the lens, but I'm pretty sure it's a very well thought out design of the lens angle. And then the emitter itself, so show the close-up. I requested light weathering but heavy damage, so it has some nice nicks on certain places, like here and all around here. Very nice nick here as well. Go a little bit deeper in the middle section. So nice gauge here, quite deep as well. Very nice. I like it a lot in here as well. Here, very nice pitting. I like what they did. So they made here a hole. They punctured a hole in the hilt, and then they filled it up with with weathering paint, and it looks really cool. And all the marks that you here see is done with steel wool. So what they do is they scuff up the hilt, so the weathering paint will go into the small cracks and scratches, and they do it in a way that it still looks very nice and shiny. But it's essential to make sure that the weathering paint is digging into the hilt and give the hilt a more bland look to it. And the leather skin wrap, very nice, very thin, it feels amazing. It's a very nice wrap, nicely done. It's tight around the hilt as well. Nothing that I say that I don't like about it. And the pommel. Pommel is another amazing feature of this hilt design. I love the tapering going down and then flattens out here for the vent holes, and then goes into this point. Now these holes that you see here, this is actually the older design of pommel. The newer design pommel will have slotted vent holes, so they're horizontal and there are less of them, but it's louder. We're gonna do a comparison later for that. And then a black cover tech wheel. Again, even the black cover tech wheel has damage on it, so really cool. So I went for a non-lit AV switch because I don't like switches that light up so much anymore. I stepped away from that. I just don't feel they look very nice, and with these types of non-lit switches, because they have a bigger surface to push into, it really feels like an ignition switch of a lightsaber. When you push it, it feels so amazing to me.
Havoc.
It really feels like you're gonna ignite something from hell. It's like, yeah, it feels more comfortable than the AV lit switches, which have an transparent ring around here, and then you have a smaller diameter to actually push in, and when you push it in, it feels a little bit finicky, in my personal opinion. So let me show you the chassis really quick. So I'm gonna take off the pommel. So take first a close look at the pommel. Nice threads. And the inside. And it actually quite acts as a very good resonation chamber, because the actual speaker, as you can see that here, is actually quite close onto where the pommel starts, and this end here acts as a resonation chamber that really amps up the sound till it reaches this point and goes out of the pommel. So this is the new speaker design. As you can see, it's a departure of the older, softer speakers that had like a piece of cloth as the base. That has been replaced for this specific 22mm speaker, which is way louder than the original one. The original one on my Vader's Vault Havoc, Vader's Vault Acolyte actually broke on me. I punctured a hole and it went to mess, so I still need to replace that one. Let me show you the chassis now. Shake it a little bit. What I normally do is shake it a few times. Get to the edge where you can start grabbing the chassis, and then we pull it gently out of the hilt. So this is how far I'm gonna show you. So what we got here is the here we got the Crystal Shard 3.0. Here we got the Crystal Shard 3.0 on a Delrin CNC milled chassis, and a 181650 battery holder with an 181650 battery from Trustfire, 3.7 volts, and the 22mm speaker. Very nice package, very narrow. As you see, There's very little to no beef between the chassis and the where the hilt starts. So you see the hilt is just barely 1 millimeter thick. And also the screw that goes into the hilt itself is actually, you can see there's only less than 1 millimeter in which it ties into the alloy. So Vader's Vault does a really amazing job minimizing everything. Everything fits in perfectly inside the hilt. There's no rattling, there is absolutely no waste of space, and that is why I really keep praising the Vader's Vault Havoc. It's just such a stunning saber. Well thought out, well designed, just amazing to look at, to feel, to play with. Okay, next we're gonna take a look at the size of the Havoc. So the Havoc itself measures around 10.5, 10.2 inches. See if I can show that. So from top to bottom, 10.12 inches. So it's a nice short saber. The outer diameter of the hilt itself measures around 1.2 inches. So a 1-inch blade fits in there, and then you have around 2 millimeter on the emitter added. That is for this ring. This is 1 millimeter. So you can imagine on the average there's around 1 millimeter between the battery, internal battery holder chassis, and the blade. So it's very thin and very small. I don't think you can get much smaller than this in terms of having still a 1-inch blade diameter and an internal chassis with an 1860-50 battery. It's just amazing how well it all fits together. Now for giggles, just let's fire up. Havoc. I love this boot sound, by the way. It's amazing. It fits this hilt perfectly, and it's actually my favorite sound font. I'm not actually gonna change of sound fonts on this saber. I just keep this one because I just like the saber font so much. Has the lime green Sun Crusher. The auxiliary button is very easy accessible. What I really dig about is that the aux switch on this particular saber is not as difficult accessible as with the Vader's Vault Acolyte, where I stressed out in my last video. I found it a little bit difficult to access it, but this button is raised and it's very smooth and very easy to operate because it falls directly under the power button. So it's really easy to do a lock-up sound or a blaster deflect or a door cutting sound if you have that sound font. It's so easy to access and so comfortable that I really like the entire design of this hilt. It's sleek, it's small, it's thin, it's well thought out, it's light, and it looks amazing with all the different serrations and different levels of details everywhere. I fall in love with this hilt. This is definitely my favorite hilt for myself, for my roleplay character. Now we do a small size comparisons. On the left you see the Saberforge Bastion, and on the right you see the Saberforge Dissident, and in the middle we have the Vader's Vault Havoc. So you can see this is an elite class lightsaber from Saberforge. The diameter of the hilt most of the time is a little bit thicker and fatter than with their apprentice class, which is their thinnest class of lightsabers. It stacks up nicely with the Vader's Vault in terms of length. They're approximately the same length. The Vader's Fold Havoc is noticeably still noticeable thinner than the Bastion. If you put them in your hands, it's harder to see, but it's definitely a lot thinner. It really feels there's a massive difference there. You definitely feel it. Both sabers are great, of course. I like them both, but personally I feel that handling this one is a lot more comfortable over this one, which is already very comfortable. And this, of course, is a very big comparison. Both have a leather wrap, but the Vader's Fold is so much thinner. It actually can fit inside the hilt. We can demonstrate that for fun. So I'll take off the pommel. So you can see it doesn't, I don't want to push it into the threads, but you can see it does fit inside the Vader saber force dissident. So you could basically slit it inside, and then you have a saber inside a saber. Of course, the saber force dissident, the diameter is also tailored for a do-yourself people that want to put their own chassis inside, etc., and want to have a little bit more space to actually access everything. But still, this is way thinner, way thinner. Let me just stack them up next to each other so we can see the height, and then we're gonna wrap it up. So, and now we have a view of the sabers in their vertical stance. You can see the Bastion and the Vader's Fold Havoc are on par in size, and the Bastion is together with the Saberforge Consular, the smallest hilt that Saberforge carries. So you can see, if you like the smaller form of hilt, then Vader's Fold might be a very good choice for you, in this case the Havoc. And on the right you can see the bigger, much bigger Dissident, which is, by the way, an awesome saber. I like to play with it as well. It's a comfortable saber to hold, but yeah, the Havoc definitely wins it in sleekness and thinness. And welcome back. So I hope you liked the video. I'm gonna do a quick verdict on what I think about the Vader's Fold Havoc. As you might already have seen, I'm very optimistic about this hilt. I really love the general overall design of the hilt, the ergonomics, how sleek it is, how thin it is, how well thought out the design is, incorporating all the electronics. Just considering that the switch section is here, the LED is here, this is the blade socket to hold in the blade, and then you have your retention, you have your CNC milled Delrin chassis here with an 18650 battery and a pommel that acts as the resonation chamber to vent out the sound, which is fantastic. Everything is very compacted to each other, so the electronics are close on each other, and there's not much waste of space at all. Everything is well thought out, is designed with a purpose, and I love that on the saber. Everything on it is just so well thought out. The 60mm AV switch is so nice to control. It's a nice big button, easy to operate. The aux switch is nicely on the bottom, easy accessible, easy to click in, which is very important if you want to do blaster deflex or door cutting, or you want to do whatever special effect that set sound font has on that particular setting. It's just amazing. It really feels so comfortable, and it's light, and the leather wrap, it's just amazing. It smells great. It feels great in the hand. There is enough space to hold the saber everywhere. There's no sharp edges at all. It's just so smooth to the hand, and so comfortable. There isn't any flaw to it that I can find. This is absolutely my favorite personal lightsaber. It's small, it's sleek, it's concealable. this would be something that I would carry if I was in a Star Wars universe. And just very practical, yet very elegant, yet very light. Perfect for what I need. And yeah, I just love it. And the fact that it's so loud with this newer 20mm speaker, and it just comes across so nice. The sound so crisp and so loud. You don't expect that from such a small saber. The Stone Crusher Lime Green is also a fantastic color. I really like this color. It's a very nice lighter shade of green with the white and flash on glass. I cannot stress out how much I recommend this hilt. This is a fantastic product from Vader's Vault. I absolutely love it. I fell in love with it 8 months ago when I started 10 months ago when I started looking into Vader's Vault lightsabers. I saw this design, and immediately from the start I knew that I needed a Havoc. It's just the emitter section with the tapering, the leather wrap section, the weathering on it, the pommel design, which is truly gorgeous and amazing. It's just so beautiful. I knew I needed to have it. I don't know why, but it's so appealing, this saber. And I went so far that in the end I got 2 of them. So who knows what brings the future, where maybe I get a 3rd one. But I have to say, if you're in the market for a Vader's Vault lightsaber, and you're not into a tin neck, if you're not into the Ardent, 100% sure go for the Havoc. I personally like my Havoc more than my Acolyte. Because the Acolyte, I love it because it's an Old Republic lightsaber, but it's so long that it's not something that I comfortably play with the whole day. With this saber I do, because it's light, it's small, it's sleek. It's just perfect. It's absolutely perfect. I cannot put this saber down. It has been played with ever since I received it, day and night. I sleep with it next to my bed pillow. I put it next to my pillow, I sleep with it. It's just every day it's with me. It doesn't leave me. I highly recommend you to go for a Vader's Vault Havoc. I cannot stress out how much I like the saber design. It's amazing, and I hope you like the video. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. As always, stay scummy.
Havoc.
Havoc. Please subscribe for more weekly videos, follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, sponsor the channel at our Patreon page. Stay scummy!